Hi, my name is Michalla Heighington, and today we're here with my horse Silly. I'm going to be demonstrating various types of wraps on her legs. But first I would like to mention that the wraps have been previously cleaned and washed. They are in good condition. There's no pilling, no threads loose. They're ready to be used. Her legs have been previously brushed. They are free of dirt, dust, mud. They're dry, and her hooves have been picked out, so they are ready to be bandaged. I'm going to start with a standing wrap today. I'm going to demonstrate how to put it on, and then I'll talk about when and when not to use it. Okay, so I'm going to start with the wrap on the inside of the leg. And I'm going to make sure that it is even tension all the way around. Now I add this one. This one, you just layer it, and that just helps keep it in place when you start your wrap. Okay, so now I'm going to start going down. So when I tighten my bandage, I like to keep my hand on the front part of the leg, and then when I tighten it from the back, I keep my hand on the back part of the leg. And I'm making sure that my bandage stays flat and laying on the leg as I roll it down. If I need to lift it up, my hand is securing the previous wrap, and I'm making sure that my layers are even as I go down. So I'm at the fetlock now. So I need to leave about 2 centimeters of room around the bottom. And now I'm going to wrap up, making sure that there's even tension, no wrinkles, no bowing, even wraps. And when I get to the top, I'm staying under the knee. I'm also making sure that there is the same amount of room from the top and the bottom. So the Velcro should end up at the top and on the outside of the leg. So I'm just smoothing out any wrinkles. Just like to tuck that end of the Velcro piece on there. So when I'm checking for tension in the wrap, I'm just squeezing to make sure that the wrap has even pressure from top to bottom, front and back, and that feels pretty even. You want it to look fairly straight. All my wraps, all my layers are even, and there's no wrinkles in it. I should be able to fit a finger on top, a finger on the bottom, and it is not going anywhere. So when we would use a stable wrap, we can use a stable wrap after exercise. It's good for preventing swelling in the lower leg. You can use it when they're resting in a stall. You can use it when they're trailering. You need to make sure that when you wrap, that you're wrapping both front legs or all 4 legs or both back legs. So we're not leaving one leg unwrapped. When we're also wrapping, we're making sure that the wrap can stay on for no longer than 12 hours. Then you need to take it off, reset everything, and then you can reapply it. Stable wraps are really good for therapy, so they're really good for holding poultices, sweats, and ice packs in place. And they're also really good for holding dressings in place too, on top of wounds. The only time we would not use a standing wrap is during exercise. They're not meant for exercise, they're meant for therapy and reducing swelling in the leg. So I'm going to do a polo wrap on the hind leg now. So again, I would like to note that my polo wrap has been previously cleaned. No pilling, no threads loose, in good condition. Hind leg has been cleaned, ready to go, nice and dry. And our tail, we wrapped it up so that is out of the way. I'm just moving her leg over so that there's room and that she's standing on this foot. So when I'm starting my polo wrap, I start just below the hock, and I'm also starting it the same as I would start a standing wrap, with my wrap on the inside of the leg, and I'm wrapping the tendon, pulling it inwards to the leg. So now I'm going to count down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 wraps down. Now I'm at the fetlock, so I'm going to come across and over and then underneath and really cup the base of that fetlock and around the front. And I'm creating a V in the front of the foot. And now I can start my wrap upwards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when I put my Velcro on, I just like to make sure that my end is on the end piece. So we have a polo wrap, and I'm also checking the tension of it, making sure that it's even tension front and back. Should be able to fit one finger, top and bottom. It's not sliding anywhere. My V is providing relief so that when the fetlock moves, there's room for that, and that there's a little bit of support on the back side of the fetlock. So when we use a polo wrap, would mainly be for flat work and lower level exercise. We don't use it for jumping or during rainy weather or when it's really muddy out. It doesn't provide enough support for jumping, provides minimal support for the leg. And especially if it's wet, it's very absorbent. So if it's rainy or muddy, it could absorb all that water. It can get very heavy. It could also tangle, come off the leg. It could create a tripping hazard. So lunging, flat work, just anything else but jumping. That's what we use our polo wraps for. So now I'm going to move her over and we're going to wrap her other legs with protective boots. So I will demonstrate the wrap and then I will talk about when to use it. This is a open front boot, open tendon boot. It is like a hard PVC plastic with a neoprene inside, and it has a Velcro closure on it. So when I'm fitting these to the horse, they're really easy to fit because they just slide down and cup right onto the fetlock. So as I'm sliding it down, it just pops right into place and it cups the sides of the fetlock in the back of it, and it protects the back of the tendon. Now when I do my elastic up, I make sure that my Velcro is sitting straight across and that there's even pressure on both pieces of Velcro. This one's a little crooked. This one is a little crooked. So, and then I close it. So you just want to make sure that these are even. Actually, they are not, so I'm going to fix that. It's important to make these even because unequal pressure, when they're not even, it creates unequal pressure on the horse's leg, and that can cause pressure sores on it, and it's uncomfortable for the horse. So we make sure that the Velcro tension is even on both pieces. So this boot, you can fit one finger up top, and you can fit one finger at the bottom, and it is not going anywhere. So reasons why we would use an open front boot or an open tendon boot. We would use it for jumping. It's really great for protecting horses when they reach forward, and if their hind leg clips their front leg, protects the back of the tendon. It also can protect them from rubbing on the inside of their fetlock with the opposite foot. So it protects there too, protects on the outside of the leg as well. The only place that it doesn't protect is the front of the cannon bone. This is open, so if you're jumping your horse and your horse hits the rail with the front of their leg, it's not protected, they're going to feel it. You can also use these for lunging, for flat. They're a great all-around boot that helps protect and support the lower leg. This is a bell boot or an overreach boot. This bell boot protects the bulbs of the heel and the bottom of the hoof from a horse that is prone to overreaching. Overreaching is when their hind foot steps forward in place to where their front foot is, and they can pull a shoe, they can clip their heel, they can clip a little bit of their pastern, depending on how far they overreach, and these boots protect it. So when I put these boots on, I would like to note that these boots, when we put them on, they will end up turning while she's in exercise. They are not supposed to be secure still around the leg. Those ones that are secure around the leg end up having a piece of material that sticks out that sits right in the base of the pastern, and that's what prevents those types of bell boots from not moving. But this one doesn't have that, so this one will end up turning while you're riding. So my Velcro is even. My bell boot covers the heel and just sits just above the ground on the base of the hoof, and I can fit one finger in there. And this is a good example of showing that it could turn. The last boot that we're going to use is a fetlock boot. It's made out of the same material that the open front boot is made out of, so like a PVC plastic. It has a neoprene pad on the inside, and it has a Velcro closure on it. So the same thing with the front boot. This one just slides right into place, but this one just goes over top of the fetlock only. So I'm going to start up high. I like to slide down because that moves with the hair. If you slide up, if you're too low and you need to slide up, then that just pulls the hair in a different direction, and that can be uncomfortable for the horse. So I'm sliding it down, and it just slides right into place. And this one, I'm making sure that my tension is even tension with the front bandage or the front wrap. So I can fit a finger in there, and I can fit a finger in there, and they feel about the same. It doesn't move, it doesn't slide. My Velcro is even, and my Velcro closes, and that is how the fetlock boot sits. We would also use a fetlock boot for the same reasons we would use an open front boot. For jumping, for lunging, any type of flat work. It's great protecting for the hind leg on the fetlock area. It's good for horses that brush their hind legs together. The only area that it doesn't protect, again, is the front part of the leg. So front part of the cannon bone, front part of the fetlock. So if you're jumping a jump and the horse jumps, clips the pole with their hind leg, they're still going to end up feeling it. But that is our demonstration today on how we wrap and protect our horse's legs.